Okay. So the last feedback strategy that I want to talk about, this is sort of my research baby at the moment. This is learner-driven feedback. That's what I call it. It's been called a number of other things. I know there's several acronyms for it, but what I mean here is basically that the students direct the feedback. So they request feedback on certain aspects of their writing which they are maybe struggling with or where they're a bit stuck. So that's why I mean the learners drive the feedback. There are a couple of different ways of doing this. Maybe they can pose questions throughout their text in footnotes or comment bubbles, or maybe they can use some kind of cover sheet which they would submit with their essay drafts or their texts, which requests feedback on certain language points or aspects of the text. In a recent study that I did, I combined this requests for feedback on certain aspects of the text with allowing students to request a specific delivery mode, so they could also choose to have an email or an audio recording or whatever, and I put those two together. Actually, the study's been published in ELT journal, so you can read up on that. I'll give you the reference later. Let me look at a couple of studies. So this is the one about the interactive cover sheets. In this study, Bloxham and Campbell found that tutors really liked this, this approach because they were able to focus on certain things. Although they did mention that students who maybe are not in a position to ask the right questions wouldn't get the right answers, the right feedback that they necessarily need. So that is something that we need to watch out for when we give the power, if you like, over to the students. I think time is sort of running down, so let me just skip a slide. Here are some other points that students responded to in a survey, what they liked about this kind of procedure. So I think Madeline's going to ask me to conclude, so here we go. So Dana Ferris, who's done a lot of work on feedback, she suggests that we use a mixture of different feedback sources, and I think that's what I'm trying to sort of encourage today, and that links in with the professional practices framework, where I think what it's asking us to do is have knowledge of different strategies that are out there, and then depending on our students' level, goals, the facilities available, to make the decision about what's most appropriate in specific contexts and working on different tasks and so on. What's clear is that students will need some kind of practice so they can really get the most out of the different feedback strategies. And I think ideally as well that they are given the chance to redraft and take on board the feedback and work with it. And in this case then we would stop talking really about feedback and start reframing it as teachers and as students as feed forward.